Oh, I forgot to put the blade in. Oh my God, because I just cleaned it. Oh, this is sad. The first thing we're gonna do is get the first part of this recipe set up. So I got a cutting board, a big giant knife to cut the cauliflower that I have right here. I got this measuring cup to measure out the vegetable broth that's over here. And then over here we have a giant pan and then a lid because we are going to cover our mix at a certain point. So I have that all ready to go over here. Now I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I don't think I've ever had cauliflower in my entire life. And this will definitely be the first time that I've ever chopped it up. So I'm assuming you don't need this part. So just gonna rip that off where I can. It's a little bit easier than chopping it off. If you guys eat this part of it, let me know, because I honestly am like such a newbie. And this is my first vegan meal that I'm making, like official. Like, I'm sure I've had other vegan meals that I've made because I have vegan mac and cheese that I've been eating before I went full out vegan. I was eating a lot of vegan products and stuff. Actually, a lot of my diet before going 100% vegan was vegan friendly. But this is my first official meal, and it is a meal that Kalel made, and she's just so inspiring. Now, I don't know if you guys watch Kalel, and by the time this video is up, I'm hoping that all of her videos that disappeared will come back up. Do you guys know what happened? Because I have so much going on in my life. I'm not sure if like she has some sort of copyright infringement or she just decided to purge, because I know she was talking about, you know, how she may quit YouTube at some point. I don't know. So you guys can fill me in on what happened to all of her videos, if they're not back yet, or if they are back, why they were gone. I would love to know, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going 100% vegan. I want to go back and rewatch all of her videos, and they're not there. But luckily, they at least had the one, so I wanted to recreate one of her recipes that she did, and this is the one that I think would be best suited for me and my little sensitive tummy. So, all right, so we're gonna cut this. This is gonna be weird. Okay, luckily it's not too hard to chop. I'm gonna get this end out. Don't really much care for that part. I'm making a mess, oh my god. I have my pan over here, so as I'm chopping up the cauliflower, I'm gonna throw it into the pan. I was gonna get another bowl, but then I thought that was just wasteful and annoying. So I'm just gonna chop this up. It doesn't have to be super fine, but it has to at least be a decent amount. I watched her video, but I'm not like watching it as I'm doing this. I'm just trying to do it from memory and then modify as needed. So the one thing that I didn't do is add in onions, and I did not brown the onions since I don't have the onions. My stomach does not like onions, or at least a copious amount, so I did not want to do that onion part in her recipe. So I just decided to skip that. And then I'm also skipping the garlic because my tummy is a little sensitive to garlic. I mean, I probably could get away with the amount that she had on the recipe, but I want to be safe and I don't want to judge the meal. In the event that I do get sick, I don't want to judge it based off that, because I could have just, it could be just the garlic. But anyway, so that's just what I did in order to modify it. So if you have a sensitive tummy, cutting out the garlic and the onions may be a good option for you, one or the other, depending on what type of sensitivities you guys have. If you have IBS, it's definitely something to look out for. Cauliflower, luckily for me, is good. It's part of it's on the low fat. I don't know if you guys know, but there's this thing called a low FODMAP diet, and there's certain foods that are triggers for someone on a FODMAP diet, and I will link information for you guys below just so you guys can see what a FODMAP diet is. I don't even remember what it stands for since it's so long I didn't even bother. But pretty much there's certain vegetables and certain fruits and certain other foods that I am more sensitive to than others. So for instance, cauliflower is completely fine, but broccoli is a no-no. So that's why I'm also not going to be putting the broccoli that she did into this meal either. So it's going to be a lot more basic of a recipe, but I'm hoping it still turns out okay. We'll see. Here's my lovely mess. All right, so I cleaned off my cutting board. I didn't clean it because I'm going to be cutting more vegetables up, but I wanted to get the excess off, and I cleaned up the area over here, and then we got the cauliflower over there. So now we're going to go in with this vegetable broth. And she said to use a small cup of vegetable broth, but I don't know what's the definition of small, but I don't think it's this carton. It was the smaller one that I found, which is 32 ounces. So I'm just gonna do a cup. And I'm spilling everything. I'm so bad at this. Okay. Now I'll clean up that mess. All right, now we're gonna pour in the vegetable broth. You know what, I think I'm gonna do 2 cups since that doesn't seem like that much. I feel like I should do 2. Okay, so in total we have 16 ounces of vegetable broth. Okay, so now I'm gonna move this to the back burner since it's bigger. We're gonna turn up the heat to high, and then we are going to cover. What are you squeaking about, bud? I love your face. Do you want to cook with Mommy? Want to be Mommy's little helper? Maybe? Thinking about it? I love you. Oh, look at how sweet. Alright, now we're just going to leave that there, and we're going to leave it until it boils because that's when it's done. And in the meantime, we're going to work on the next part of this meal. The next part of this meal requires celery and potatoes. So she actually said to get gold potatoes, but I accidentally got russet potatoes. So whatever. So we're just going to chop up this russet. I think it's russet. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. And then the celery, she did not specify how much. So I'm just going to kind of try to make it proportionate with the cauliflower. So we'll see how much that is. And I don't think she cut it up, but I'm just going to cut it up. I know she cut up the potatoes, but I just feel like cutting up the celery. Just kind of move it to the side. No! I lost a piece. And another piece. I'm so bad at this. Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm just going to use up what's left in the bag. So as you can see, it's come to a broil, so I'm going to have to get the top off, but unfortunately, this is the only pan that has a top that matches that's this big, and the handle broke. So, to be creative on how to get this off. Towel and a fork. So in case anybody has this issue, lift it up. Grab it with a towel. You can also use a, what do you call it? Oven mitt. And then throw it in the sink. Now I'm just going to add in the celery. Mix it up. Now we're going to chop up the potato. Now she had pretty big chunks, so this size would be good. I probably will half it though. I always do that. And those two are fine. Okay, now we're going to add in the potatoes. Oh gosh, this is so much. Gonna mix it up a little bit. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook this until it's soft, based off of her directions. So I definitely want to make sure I mix stuff up just in case there's certain stuff that's constantly on the bottom and there's certain stuff that's on top. You want to kind of move stuff around. So especially the potatoes, since they were the last things that were put in. And then we can put in seasoning, and just to be safe, I'm going just to put in salt. And pepper. Kalel used seasoned salt, but you can use whatever salt you wanted. If you wanted something a little bit more hot, you can use cayenne pepper, but my sensitive tummy can't handle that, so that's why this is pretty plain and modified. Now that I mix that up more, I'm going to add just a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. Don't put too much salt though. I probably already did put too much salt, but don't put too much salt because you don't want to dehydrate the crap out of yourself. But I wanted to make sure I got everything covered. Just keep mixing it around until everything is soft. And while the rest of that is boiling, I got my Ninja blender set up. So this is the top of the blender that I got hooked up. So whenever you put it on top, that's what starts the blending, which is really cool. And then here is the blender. So what we're going to do is when our mix is done boiling and is softened, we're going to put it into this blender and then blend it up. We're also going to add in cashew milk. I have a very sensitive tummy, and almond milk, it seems to bother me. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that the cashew milk never bothers me, especially because this is unsweetened, soy and dairy free. So I would highly recommend getting cashew milk if you have a sensitive tummy. Almond milk is a lot more common whenever you try to go get smoothies or milkshakes that are vegan friendly. But if you have the option to get cashew milk, I would get cashew milk. So while we wait, I'm going to get this set up. So I'm going to put in a cup. I probably will end up adding another cup, but I want to see how it mixes first. So we're just going to start with a cup. Okay, so I don't know how soft Kalel wants this mix to be, but I'm getting impatient. So I'm just going to take it off. That may be a bad idea, but whatever. Everything is starting to brown, and I just feel like it just needs to get into this blender. So I'm going to try to carefully transfer this. I'm going to try to scoop it a little bit. I know it's going to fall everywhere, so I'm just going to get the big chunks in first, just because this pan is so much bigger than this blender. I have a feeling this meal is going to last me like a freaking week. But whenever she did make her meals, though, in the video, she did say that she likes to prepare her meals on Sundays ahead of time, so that way she can just heat it up and be good to go. All right. I think I got enough. I'll try to aim the rest in. Oh my gosh, this is so much. I don't know if she had this much in her blender. Oh, I forgot to put the blade in. Oh my god, because I just cleaned it. Oh, this is sad. I have to start this all over again. Oh my god. Just made it all in there. All right, so I'm gonna put on the lid. We're gonna mix up, actually, no. So now we gotta get the cashew milk in there. Just this is gonna fill up quite quickly. It does look kind of cool though. I feel like that's not gonna be enough, but yeah, I'm gonna do another cup because that's just so much stuff. Some of this is a guessing game because she didn't give exact measurements. She might have talked about it in the video, but I'm not rewatching the video as I do. That's just a pain in the butt. I'm just like looking at her notes from her blog. So I'm doing 2 cups. Alright, so I'm not sure if my camera was filming or not, so just in case, I already blended, but all you have to do is press down the button on the top of the Ninja blender, and then this is what happens. And then your mix should look like this. Okay, so my other camera died, and this one's kind of low on battery too, but if the quality is different, it's because now I'm using my Canon T5i. Before, I was using my Sony a5100. If the quality is better on one or the other, please let me know which one you think is better, so that way I know which camera is better. But it died on me, and then I couldn't find the charger, so yeah. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer everything that was in the Ninja blender into this large pot. Yeah. Just kind of scraping some of it out with the blender blade. Probably not wise, but now I'm throwing the blender blade into the sink. I'm going to use my spoon from earlier to scrape out what's left. Now I'm going to turn this up to high on the back burner. Nope. Now that's exploding everywhere. So don't turn it up to high. It's a lesson here. I'm actually going to put it on simmer since it's already hot, or low in this case. Now she does add in more potatoes for potato chunks, so I'm just going to cut up this potato. Because they're going to be potato chunks, I want to chop these up even more than I did the first time. All right, now we're going to throw in the potatoes. And stir it up. Now she puts nutritional yeast in here, but I'm going to put cheese in here instead. The cheese that I'm going to be putting in is the shredded cheese from Daiya. It's deliciously dairy-free cheddar style shreds, and that's what I'm going to be throwing into the pot. This is vegan cheese. I already did this, but for some reason my camera wasn't filming, but I threw in 2 handfuls of this shredded cheese, and then I'm going to mix it up with my spoon, and then we're going to simmer for 2 hours. Sorry, we're going to simmer for 1 hour, or until the potatoes are soft. All right, here is the finished meal. We got our little mashed potato, cheesy cauliflower thing over here. And then right here we have some vegan bread and vegan butter. So for the bread and butter, I used the 365 Snowflake dinner rolls and then the Earth Balance soy-free vegan butter. Both I got at Whole Foods. Everything that I used today was from Whole Foods except for the celery. That was from Giant Eagle. All right, now let me taste it. Moment of truth. First, I would like to say it's a little hot, but other than that, it's pretty good. I've never had cauliflower before, so it is a little bit different tasting than what I'm used to. But when you bite into like the big potato chunk, it just tastes really good. So, and I'm glad that I added a little bit of cheese. But all in all, this worked out for me. It doesn't taste like crap. Yay! I did it. And it was more of a safe recipe since I took out the onions and the garlic. And then I didn't use sea salt. I just used regular salt and pepper. Oh, and no broccoli. But if you guys can have broccoli, feel free to add the broccoli in. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Like this video if you've liked it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye! So, if you don't hate me yet, you probably will after this. Feel free to curse at the screen at me. That's fine. Don't comment that I'm a bitch, but feel free to call me a bitch and yell out while you're doing this if you hate me. We are now going to do 100. And we're going to do the crunches first. We're going to go 1, 2,